Hello, and welcome to another look with Christian King. I am back for the third time today, and I'm going to talk a little more boxing. So we're going to talk about the heavyweight division of boxing right now. So we have the three key players in this heavyweight division, and we will go in alphabetical order so that I'm not ranking them. We have Anthony Joshua, and then we have Deontay Wilder, and then we have Tyson Fury. Those are the three top guys right now. How do they all match up? It's not as simple as saying, oh, this guy is number one and this guy's number two, because it depends on who's fighting who. So let's talk about them, and let's go through each possible matchup. So I'm going to start by talking about Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury, because that is the only fight that has actually happened out of these three. So Deontay Wilder lost to Tyson Fury by decision. It was ruled a draw, but he did not. That was not a draw. He won that fight, or Tyson Fury did. But Wilder was able to hurt him in the 9th and badly in the 12th. What does a rematch look like? Well, I do think Deontay Wilder could have fought much better. I think he was, in his own words, overthrowing his right hand badly. But I also think that surely Tyson Fury will be better in the rematch, because he will have had more time to have gotten used to all the weight that he's lost. He will have had more time to get used to being back in the ring. He's now had a true fight against another elite heavyweight to kind of warm himself back up after all of his personal problems. So I would have to say that I think the rematch wouldn't be that different. I think that Tyson Fury will win rounds, and I think Deontay Wilder will have big moments. If they rematch, I will take Tyson Fury to win a decision. That's what I think would happen if they had a rematch, and especially if the judging was better. So that gives us Tyson Fury. Remember, this is all in my mind. This is all purely my opinion. But that gives us Tyson Fury over Deontay Wilder. The next match that could happen here, we're going to talk about Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. I think that Deontay Wilder would knock Anthony Joshua out. Anthony Joshua does get hurt. He does not have an iron chin, and he does not have nearly any of the slickness or head movement or defensive prowess of Tyson Fury. He's much more of a typical boxer, which leaves him much more vulnerable to a heavy puncher like Deontay Wilder. The caveat of that, or I might have just completely misused that word, but the downside of what I'm saying, the alternative to what I'm saying, so maybe I used it right, is that you can argue, well, Tyson Fury had a lot of success landing on Deontay Wilder, and Tyson Fury does not hit as hard as Anthony Joshua. So first off, I think that Deontay Wilder has a very good chin, especially looking at that Luis Ortiz fight, and he did take some big man punches from Tyson Fury and never got knocked down. He got a little bit hurt, I thought, in some of the later rounds, but that could have also just been fatigue mixed with taking a big punch. But I would have to say that I would pick Deontay Wilder to knock Anthony Joshua out, but it would be a little bit dangerous for him to try, because Anthony Joshua can also crack with some pretty big power too. So that would be an interesting fight. I think, so let's rewind back to Fury versus Wilder, Fury versus Wilder. So let's talk about these in terms of if they had 10 fights, which will never happen. If Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder have 10 fights, I think that we already have one of them as a draw. And I think the remaining 9, I think Tyson Fury would win 7 or 8 decisions, and I think Deontay Wilder would knock him out 1 or 2 times out of those 10. So that's where I'm at on this. So now, if we talk about a 10 fights, which will never, obviously this will never happen. Boxing, they do not fight each other 10 times. No combat sport, really. Well, I guess some of them on the lower levels in tournaments, you'll meet the same guy a bunch, but wrestling would be way more likely, or grappling would be way more likely to compete against the same guy 10 times. But so if Wilder and Joshua fought 10 times, I think that Wilder would knock him out more than half of the times. I think Wilder would get him. And obviously, when we talk about this, we're not factoring in the damage. So we're not factoring in like, oh, by the 10th time they fight, Wilder's already knocked him out a few times, so his chin might... No, this is purely imaginary. This is 10 fights that all that are all of them both being perfectly healthy and prepared. I think that Wilder would knock Joshua out more times than not. But I also think there would be a possibility for him to maybe get knocked out, or more likely to lose a decision to Anthony Joshua. So for the sake of this discussion, I would say that Wilder will knock out Anthony Joshua, because that is the outcome that I would pick more than 50% of the time. So then that brings us to Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury. And this one is really, really difficult, because Wilder did have success hitting Fury, who's ungodly tough. Wilder definitely hits harder than Joshua, but Joshua can also box some. Wilder is not he's a great athlete, he's a great puncher, and he has his own great style of boxing. But in the terms of traditionally being a boxer, Joshua is a better boxer than Deontay Wilder, and Tyson Fury is a better boxer than both of them put together, in my opinion. So I would probably take Fury and Joshua to go to decision. If they fought 10 times, I think it would very likely go to a decision all 10 times. And I would favor Fury. Remember, we're not factoring in how corrupt the judges are, okay? The judges will try and give the fight to Joshua every time. But in a fair, just world where the judges are people like Teddy Atlas and Max Kellerman and analysts, as opposed to judges that are very likely paid off or just downright stupid when you look at the decisions they have in boxing, I think that Fury would likely win more than 50% of the time against Joshua via decision. But I do think there would be a chance that Joshua could win a decision over him, especially if he was able to get a 10-8 round or two in there by hurting Fury. There is also the chance that Fury could hurt him, because Fury was able to land on Wilder, and I do think that Wilder has a better chin than Joshua. So, as we can see, it's a good problem to have, let's put it that way. If you like watching elite boxing, these three men and this discussion, it's all good. It's all good. If you think that everything I said is wrong, that's good. That means that there's interesting fights. So I ask that you disagree with me. If you disagree with me, please tell me. Write in the comments. Tell me how you see these matchups going, because like I said, the fact that there's debate is a good thing. What you don't want is you don't want to have one guy who you know will beat everyone else. Now, I know I just basically said that I would put Fury as being the best one. Am I biased? Of course I'm biased. I'm a fan. I don't do this for a living. I do this for fun. I'm a fan. So yeah, while Fury, surprise, surprise, is my favorite of the three as far as being a character goes. So maybe I'm a little biased, but I am talking purely my view of the analysis, and I'm telling you what I see. I do see Fury being the best boxer out of those three. I see Wilder being the best puncher out of those three, and I see Joshua as probably being the most well-rounded out of those three. I know well-rounded is not a great term to use in boxing, unlike MMA, because in boxing you can't be that well-rounded because all you're allowed to do is punch. But as far as mixing the balance between being defensive and offensive and being a power puncher versus a boxer, Joshua does have a really nice balance there. So what fight do I want to see next out of these ones? Well, I want to see the Wilder-Fury rematch. But the problem with that is that I think that Fury will win it, and I'll be cheering for him to win it, and I'll be picking him to win it, but I really want Wilder to fight Anthony Joshua. I really want to see that fight. So there's a part of me that hopes, obviously I don't hope anyone gets injured or anything, but I hope that maybe through some negotiations, stalling, or something like that, maybe there's a chance we can sneak in that Wilder-Joshua fight before we worry about a Fury-Wilder rematch. We'll have to see what happens, though. So that's how I see these top three guys all breaking down. Like I said, please comment. Please tell me why you see it differently. And please remember that that's a good thing. We want to have debate. We want to have questions. We want to have uncertainties. The boxing heavyweight division is amazing right now. It's probably it has to be the best that's ever been in my lifetime. I was born in 91. I mean, the heavyweight division's on fire right now, and it's definitely making me become more of a boxing fan, and I think that's a great thing. So, like I said, comment and keep an eye on these top 3 heavyweights and what happens, and, you know, the negotiations and all the stalling that happens. It's frustrating, but hopefully we'll get to see these 3 matchups, or these 3 guys all match up with each other before their careers are done. Thank you. Bye.